Hey everyone, welcome to the Electric Supercar channel. Today we've got Clifford, the big red truck, and we are going to fix batteries and cabling. So for those of you who are new, this is Clifford, the big red truck. It's a 1965 Ford F100. This guy was undergoing an EV conversion where the customer had an electrical event. The customer sent it to my house to see if we could get this all sorted out, fixed, and running. This one does have a Tesla Performance Model S in the rear, and it's got 16 Tesla battery modules underneath. The last time we brought it in, showed you everything that we could find that was wrong. So this time we're gonna start the fixing process. We're gonna focus on the batteries and cabling. All right, we're gonna take this front plate off. These are not fastened. They're just kind of secured, looks like, with some sealant. So we're gonna go ahead and pop those out, take the whole front panel off. Some of this was existing and some of it we've added. Basically, there's some coolant that was leaking. These were the hoses that were used. So like air hose, it looks like it's good for like 300 PSI. So the challenge with these types of hoses, they're really rigid, and even a hose clamp usually doesn't do well for sealing. So we'll replace all the hoses, get some good sealing hose. Let me show you a couple of the other concerns that I saw. So this one, I'm not sure if this is intentional. It's usually not, but there's like a stray wire here. So I'm not exactly sure where that one's supposed to go. I think it's, if I remember right, these plugs, I think the black has 2 wires, but maybe that's intentional. And another thing is, because the modules were stacked like this, this one I believe had a little leak and it was on here, and I'll have to look because I'm thinking that maybe this last cell got shorted out. I don't know what that coloring is, but I can imagine if it shorted out, it would just pop that little fuse wire, release a little bit of heat. So we'll see. Over here, we took off all the kind of rigid tubing. That just doesn't seal very well, and we were having lots of leaks, so we're getting some different tubing in. Got the pin out here. I just need to check to make sure that all the cells are kind of in normal operating voltage, that none of the cells are damaged and the modules all look good. The battery modules have been tested. I looked through the clear plastic to make sure all the fuse wires were still attached. So everything's looking good for the battery modules. All the cell groups are right around 3.8 volts. So again, everything looks good. These ones we believe are all fine. We'll probably check continuity with all these, make sure we're good. The other thing though I'm gonna work on is some of these pass-throughs. They're just still sharp and probably need to be a little bit deeper. So we made these deeper to accept the cable and the wires more easily, and so it wouldn't interfere with the top here. And I also, I don't know how well you can see, but kind of gave it a nice radius or chamfer, so there's no sharp edges here.
It came! It finally came!
Quick start guide. So for today's sponsor, we've got Mammotion, which is a robot lawnmower. I am super stoked about this one. It comes with this quick start guide, so we'll see how long it takes me to do it. All right, we are here at the side yard and just putting this here so it can kind of come up and down. The reason it's here is I've got a plug right there. So we can plug it in and that's where it can come back to charge. All right, I think that's it for setup. It does come with like some concrete anchors. If you wanted to anchor this to like the side of your house or some place that's got concrete, it's got an extra charging unit. So basically this can go in a different plug if you want to. But for me, I've got my setup all done. So we'll try it out. All right, lots of green lights. So it looks like some good indicators when you're, whoa. So this is the Yucca Mini from Mammotion. So it has UltraSense AI vision. You can get carpet-like lawn cutting. It has an industry-leading battery life and app control. So basically we've got manual controls now. So we can kind of move like joysticks left, right. It has an 88-watt motor with 5 individual razor blades that cut. So a lot smaller than a regular lawnmower, but if you're not the one doing it, it works out pretty well. It's a lightweight design at only 10 kilograms, and it can climb up 27-degree slopes. So the UltraSense AI vision has obstacle avoidance. So if there's something in the lawn, it'll actually detect it and mow around it, not through it. It mows everywhere right around that, so it won't mow over anything that you accidentally leave on your grass. With this product, there are no perimeter wires, so you can set it up to map the lawn yourself, or you can actually have it auto map your lawn. All right, it just said tasking map area completed. So now we can mow or do manual mowing or whatever we want. One of the things I thought was cool is it actually allows you to do patterns in your lawn. So I actually did a heart, but you can do lots of different shapes or even text. So I think the robot lawnmower did pretty good. It has a smart app that comes with this, and you can program up to 15 different areas to cut. You can easily create no-go zones, and it is Google and Alexa compatible. So it can cut up to 4,000 square feet on a single charge. And if you've got a yard that's bigger than that, it'll actually pause mid-task, go charge, and then complete when it's ready.
Start charging.
Very nice. It is whisper quiet at only 60 decibels. And when I say that, I mean, you can be standing right next to it and you're not sure that it's there. It's actually mowing right now. Hear how quiet it is? So no more hearing the lawnmower from yards and neighborhoods away. It is IPX6 waterproof. It also has rain detection. So if it rains, it will automatically detect and adjust the mowing schedule accordingly. And it works in the dark. I think this is a really cool product and it will automate your life, saving you hours every week of mowing. If you're interested in a product like this, I'll leave a link in the video description below. We're on to battery box number 2. This is the front one. And the challenge is like the clip to undo it is up here and it's just really hard to get a tool in. So I'm using this. There we go. So this is what I was doing with the first battery box, except for the second battery box was like super close. Like you just could not maneuver at all. There we go. All right, so the second one is ready to go down. Both battery boxes are out. Show you what it looks like here underneath. So basically this is a pretty good car to fit all these batteries. So you got lots of room kind of through the whole car. And this is where all the cell taps and thermistors were. I pulled up the 2 cables that went out to the motor, and then this is basically positive and negative for the whole pack. So here is battery box number 2. I really like the mounting that they did. I think it looks pretty good, mounts well, looks pretty sturdy. We'll go ahead and open this one and see what we're looking at. So there's some aluminum shavings inside here. That's another reason why when you're putting these battery boxes together, you want to have all your machining, drilling, tapping done before you do this, because you definitely don't want metal shavings in these kind of areas. To test the fluid system, we're gonna go ahead and put it all under vacuum. There's probably still a little bit of coolant here, so we'll see a little bit of coolant go in. But once the coolant's out, we'll plug up the other end and kind of maintain things in vacuum. That'll help us to see if the whole system is leak-free. All right, so basically we gave it a lot of negative pressure and we're just looking at this needle and you can see it's falling just a little bit. So there's probably just a little leak somewhere. So I believe the leak is right there. I'll put the microphone close. Here. That part is not part of the cooling system. So we'll get it sealed up right there and see if we can get this tested again. I'm swapping tubing. I could not get that one to seal. Same place. Maybe it's not the tubing, maybe it's the connector. It's got a leak in it. All right, after some fiddling around, we figured out that it is indeed the connector, not the connection, that is leaking. So we're gonna take this one off, probably just go straight to the tubing, make sure that nothing else here is leaking, and then just replace the connector. Unfortunately, to get to access, we need to take these ones off, so go ahead. All right, so we finally got things sealed up, but we're sitting here at, what's that, 22 inches of mercury. But yeah, so we're not hearing anything, which is good. So we'll let this sit a little bit, make sure we're not losing anything. So this type of fitting is a pipe fitting, so it's kind of a tapered thread. And basically, as you tighten it, that taper kind of makes the seal. Usually these types have some Teflon tape. And the other thing is, I believe the battery box itself, they were kind of using this as a bulkhead fitting with the plate in between, but I think the battery box itself was limiting the travel so it couldn't fully seal. So we'll go ahead and get some new fittings, get them back in the box. All right, we got some bulkhead fittings. This will replace some of those fittings that were leaking. So basically this goes through the box, we've got nuts and things to secure it, and then barbs on both ends to connect to the hoses. All right, we're going for round 2. All right, what do we got here? It's like negative, what was that, 22 or so inches of mercury, and there's no hissing or anything, so I think we've got it set. We've kind of let it sit for a while. It seems to be holding, so I think we're okay. All right, so this is the front battery box. This one didn't have as many leaks. We repaired the one bulkhead fitting on that side. So we're gonna go ahead and put the electrical stuff back together and seal up this box. The panels, I've got to put these back on, but there's just a lot of residue. So I'm gonna take some time, get all that residue off, get this ready to go back on. Okay, it took quite a while, but we got it all off. So I think there's a couple other panels, like this panel and the 2 on the sides. We need to get those off as well. I've got all the surfaces here cleaned up, ready for some panel bond, some automotive adhesive, and this one we've got all the battery modules put back in, but again all the surfaces are ready to go. I was ready to seal this one back up, but I thought I need to check all the wires and connections because I'd hate to have it all sealed and then find out that we're missing like a cell tap or some wire that came loose. So what that means is I gotta unplug all the connectors and check them. I saw at least one wire that's making me a little worried. So that wire right there makes me worried. Needless to say, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and disconnect all the cell tap wires, pin them out to the plugs, and make sure that everything looks good. This is like, I'll call it my key so I know which pin is which. This is for the Tesla modules, so I know which pin is which. And I've got them all kind of here in the column. I will point out just one more thing. So you can see like these connectors are at different lengths, or the contacts. It's like this third one is like way up. These ones are actually down. Crimps weren't good, but yeah, you can see I can just push them up. So the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that they're all the right spacing, and then I'll probably put some glue on top to kind of lock them in. We've got the front on and the top on. There's actually still 2 side panels we need to do, but it's all in there. I really hope we don't have to dig into this again to fix any cell taps or thermistors. I double, triple check things, but yeah, it always seems like that's how it goes. So I'll go ahead and finish the 2 sides, and then we'll move on to the next battery box. All right, so now that the battery box is all put back together, this is the front one, we're gonna go ahead and put it back in the truck so we can get it out of the way. So I've got to open up these holes. They're like the same size as the threads. You don't want that. So let me fix that real quick. So I was plugging things back in, and you see right there is a connector that was out. So I'm going through and checking all the connectors again, making sure everything's plugged in. All right, it is holding pressure pretty good, but I can hear something. So I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna probably pressurize it and do some soapy water, see if I can see where bubbles are coming from. So that's where it is. So lots of bubbles there. So again, just the bulkhead fitting. For battery box number 2, we just did all the pinouts, and we got one issue here. You see their wire is kind of not in here. That'll be easy enough. That's actually the one that's supposed to go to the thermistor ground wire. So we'll just tap into these. There, so that's good. Let's just double check. Looks like it should be 14. Yeah, so we're good to go. Just check the other ones while we're at it. It should also be 14. It's T1. Yep. Okay, we're good. Combing through these wires, make sure there's no issues, and found this one. Again, that's gonna be an issue. You can imagine if that was like touching metal, that's bad news. So we'll splice that one up. I'll continue to comb through and make sure we don't have any other issues. Couple of things before we button up the battery box there for the back. We're gonna scrape off all the residual kind of sealant. We got a little patch thing we gotta do there. We may just fill it with some sealant as well. It's not too big. Then we just gotta connect all the electrical. So there we are, good as new. Probably can't tell, but that is where it burned through. So we'll either do a patch plate, or we'll just, it's probably small enough that we can just use some sealant. And here's the front plate. So again, these are both looking good. So next step, I gotta put all the bus bars back, and I've actually gotta make one new cable, the one that was kind of burnt up. So make the new cable, put all the bus bars back, put all the cell taps and thermistors on, put sealant on, and button this up. I think we'll be there. Almost forgot I gotta put all these pins the right place and then lock them down. All right, for the high voltage wire here, we're just going to go ahead and cut the shielding off and put on a crimp connector lug that goes there. And then we'll just make sure this one doesn't get drilled again. All right, we're up to about 100 volts now. Got a couple more to go. There we go. All right, we just sanded this part smooth. We're just gonna fill that. It's just kind of a very small hole. We'll just fill that with some sealant. All right, just like the last one, we're gonna make sure all the holes are open so the fasteners can fit through easily. I was ready to put this one back in and I remembered I gotta redo some high voltage lines. So I'm gonna redo those lines before we put this one back in. All right, we are under the truck here. This is where the small incident was. We're just gonna go ahead and cut all the cable ties and remove at least this one high voltage wire that's had some damage, and we'll see if there's other ones that need to be replaced. All right, so they just had a butt connector here, which is fine. And this is where the damage was. Yeah, it dripped out a lot of copper. So what we're gonna do is we'll cut this right here, make a new line that goes back up to the high voltage junction box. We'll check these other wires. The sheathing is obviously kind of torched, but I think the wires still look like they're pretty good. So we'll check all the wires, make sure they're good, and get to making a new cable. All right, so there's a better view of where it was nicked. But yeah, it was getting so hot that the copper was melting. Oh! All right, looks like this one was also nicked, at least through to the, past the initial insulation and into the shielding. So I think this one we're gonna probably replace too. Oh man, they had another one. Third spot right there. I think that's another drill and tap. So this was the other wire. You can see it got nicked there as well as over here. There is some scoring around it, which makes me think that maybe it was kind of arcing or sparking, but the big one was on the other side. The high voltage cables coming from the motor, I think it's best to keep them away from the low voltage signal wires, because even with the shielding, it can cause some issues. So we're actually gonna wrap it on the other side where it's free from any wires. It'll still go over here and then up to the high voltage junction box. We have the cables all back up out of the way and up off this rail. So when we do put screws and things back in and bolts, they won't run into anything. So I've taken the high voltage cables kind of up over the motor over here, alternating every other cable to kind of make sure everything's kind of secured, and we've kind of got them tied at every other cable as well. So these ones are going to go in the high voltage junction box. I believe this means the under truck wiring is all taken care of. Now that we have all the cabling and things taken care of, we are going to put the battery box back in. So wish me luck. We'll lower things on, shift things in place, and bolt it back in. All right, we have the battery box in, kind of. So there are 4 fasteners on this side, and I think the same on the other side. So basically when I took some of the fasteners out, I noticed lots of them are stripped. So also there are a few holes that are stripped in the frame. So I think what I'm gonna do is, so the ones that are good, I'll probably, for the others, I'll probably upsize. I think these are 3/8, so maybe go up to 1/2 inch or 7/16. So I'll drill, tap, and put in some new fasteners. Okay, I believe I've got enough bolts in this that we can raise this up and finish it from underneath. All right, the second battery box is in. And so a couple of these, like the ones with the washers, are the ones that we opened up. And then this one where it's like flange bolt, original one is there. But yeah, I'm feeling really good about this. So hopefully you can see that, but basically we got lots of room from the top, the wires, where the wires are, and those bolts. So got some evidence for our customer. He wanted to save it. So that's gonna do it for this time. We got the battery boxes out of the car. We got them all stripped down, tested everything, made sure everything was leak-free, put them back in. We also got a lot of the cabling issues cut out, respliced, fixed, and then we jumped on the high voltage junction box. So that should put it that much closer to getting on the road. We still have a lot to do, more to come. See you next time.